it's great to see we got it. The spirit, hey, hey, let's hear it.
I feel like I went from literally having like $1 a day, living alone as like a 17-year-old kid in New York, not living alone, I lived with 4 other girls, but basically I lived on a mattress on the floor and, was just working hard trying to make things happen, to the next phase of my life was like, okay, I got this record deal, I have all this stuff, but I never lost touch with the person who's had to struggle. And so I feel like because of that, I didn't get on this fame tangent, and also because of the relationship I was in, with such an older person, who was like, no offense, but very controlling. I wasn't really allowed to feel fame. Like most kids, they become famous young and then they go out to clubs and they do this and they do that and they get all like, oh, I'm famous now, I'm hot. I never had that. Like I didn't really start going out, on my own until, much later into my being famous. So that was weird in and of itself.
Wow.
I didn't get that overnight sensation of I'm a star. Like it wasn't like that. So I think that's why I've stayed grounded, you know what I mean, for the most part. So I think that I sought fame, not just for the reason of like, oh, I want to be famous. Of course I sought fame because I wanted to sing and because music was my outlet, but I think that I felt like fame would validate my existence as a person, like I wasn't good enough to just exist. But it doesn't, you know what I mean? What does help you in those ways are like when you have real fans who really listen to your music and tell you, okay, this song saved my life. That's a positive thing that really, like a benefit of fame.
Right.
That's something that touches you. But all the other stuff is just like can really become, you have to have such a thick skin, you know what I mean? Well, there's two different things. There's the music business and then there's music. I'm always gonna love music. I love making music. I love writing songs. I love singing. But the thing is, I've already proven myself with the amount of records I've sold in my career. I started doing this like right out of high school and I never took a break. So, and I've broken a lot of records, and the industry is so different over the past even like 3 years of just the way the downloading is, and people can't put out a record and do like what Music Box did, like 35 million. Like that doesn't really happen anymore because of downloading and stuff, no matter who it is. So I'm not in competition with myself from the past. I'm just trying to make the best records I can make, and that's what I feel this is. This is my best record in a really long time, and so I'm proud of that. So I already accomplished my goal, so there's no pressure because I already did what I had to do. My definition of non-material success would be success in terms of being at peace with yourself, success in terms of just being able to to overcome obstacles and to still not be bitter at the world. And really, as an artist, the best way for me to define success is like when a fan tells me that a song has helped them through a difficult time, changed their life, something like that. And that happens to me a lot, and that's really the best award or best feeling or best sense of accomplishment that I could have. Okay, I do have to go with my gut at some point because everybody's got an opinion, and so many people's opinions about me are like polar opposites. I mean, they'll be like, we love it when she does the ballads, make her do a ballad. Then people will be like, we want to hear just a hot, hip hop record, and da-da-da-da-da. Like, why is she doing that? Why is she dressing like this? She should show less skin. She should show more. You know what I mean? It's like everybody's got these complete opposite things, and it just, to me, it's like the people that are experts in their field, I'll talk to them about their field of expertise. And if somebody's just got an opinion about everything, I'm kind of like, stay in your lane, and I figure it out. I think everything that comes from inside you is what really makes people appealing or whatever. So I think that it's like the spirit that comes from you is why you look so beautiful and nice. And that's what I think it's more about. It comes from within.
Are you nervous for it at all?
I just get
Do you
a little
get nervous? Do you?
Yeah.
You're like the pro.
Well, I mean, I think anybody that doesn't get nervous anymore is kind of like maybe lost the spark or something.
Yeah, the excitement of it.
Everything I've gone through has made me a better person, a stronger person, and a happier person. So, I'm just blessed for every day and for everything that's happened to me in my life. So, good or bad, it's all led me to a place where I feel the most happy that I've ever been. You know what? It's weird for me to even think of myself as a role model because in my mind, I'm just like a 12-year-old living my dreams still. Because things have changed a lot, but honestly, I'm still the same person inside. I've gone through a lot of stuff. I've matured a lot. I've grown up a lot, but in many ways, the thing that keeps me going is the fact that I haven't lost the essence of the kid in me who still can have fun doing this. You know what I mean? Because if you're not having fun, it's bleak. Like, there's no point in doing it. You know, a lot of people were very ready to write me off completely, and it's like, you know, I never write off, and I'm not trying to whatever, but there's certain people who I'm friends with who people have written off, and they've come back to have stellar years, and I've never, you know, written them off, even if it was my big moment and they were not having necessarily such a huge moment. They were never written off in my book because you can't write off talent. Right. So it's like when people do that, it's just not the right, it's not the right energy, it's not the right thing, but yes, it does feel good, and I have to thank my fans because they've stuck with me, and thank God it's my biggest first week ever. Anytime in my childhood, anything negative I was going through, I would sing. Any difficult situation, I would write poetry, I would write lyrics, I would write songs. And that's what got me through a lot of those really difficult years. Making music is the thing that keeps me going. It's the greatest gift that I've really ever gotten. I love performing live for my fans around the world because it's interesting to see how people in different territories react to different songs, just to get a read on what really moves people, and it's interesting to see how alike we all are in a lot of ways. By traveling the world and singing songs for fans around the world, it just shows me that, you know, all the boundaries and barriers that we have are so unnecessary because music is so universal that it brings people together, and it's just enlightened me as a person in a lot of ways. Then I had some highs that were amazing and some lows that were really difficult, but very necessary for me to become the person that I am today. I feel like I'm an eternal optimist. I mean, if I'm not a bitter, like, bleak person right now, after kind of all the obstacles I've had to overcome and go through, and really just go through with strength, determination, and perseverance, then I think I could probably go through pretty much anything. You know, I just didn't feel, I don't know if it was that I felt unworthy or what it was, but I really felt like everybody else was better than me in a lot of ways, but the singing was the one thing that I had. I knew that was special to me, and I didn't brag about it, I didn't talk about it, but it was something that I knew was there, and that kind of like validated my existence, because otherwise I really had low self-esteem. Getting through that moment was difficult, but in retrospect, you know, you get through it. You go through life, and you have to have ups and downs, or it just isn't reality. If I were to buy into people's negativity about me after devoting my life to this career, and then, you know, one film and one scandal is going to ruin me for the rest of my career, I don't think so. I mean, that would be totally contradictory to what got me here, which is believing in myself and not listening to people saying that I wasn't good enough, and not believing people who made me feel, you know, unworthy, you know, as a child or throughout my adolescence or whatever. You know, you have to take that negativity and brush it off. Well, I have participated in big charity shows, but I'm not, and also I privately have a lot of organizations that I'm involved with, charitable organizations, a number of charities that I feel are really important, you know, but I'm one of those people that I don't feel like when you do something, you have to announce it to the world. Well, you know what it is? I never went anywhere. It's all about, I think, careers that are lasting have to go through peaks and valleys, and then you appreciate things more when you get to a really great place like this. And I think that I wouldn't have been able to get to this place without going through difficult times, because it helped me creatively. It's not about revenge. It's not my place to seek revenge. It's my place to make music. If people want to call it a comeback, that's cool. I feel like I've never really gone anywhere, but I have gone through some enormous struggles, and being able to come out of them on the other side and get to this point in my life, which is definitely one of the best places I've ever been as a human being and as an artist, is a pretty great accomplishment. Going through that, and then going through whatever anyone wanted to refer to as breakdowns and this and that or whatever, it brought me closer to the spiritual person that I was as a child. And that's something that happens when you have an awakening, when you have an awareness that says like, okay, everything you're doing right now is fighting an uphill battle. So what you need to do is pray about it and get to the place where it's you and God basically. And it's like, okay, I need to go back to having the spirit of the 4-year-old child that I was when I prayed to become a singer, to become a successful person, to say, I'm going to succeed. I have faith that I will do that. When you truly have faith, you can move mountains and nothing is impossible. There is a reason why I do connect with people that have been through struggles, whether it's a multiracial thing or whether it's for whatever reason they feel different or ostracized or whatever. And I think that's why a lot of people who've gone through certain things relate to me and my music. Having been able to cross all these barriers and these kind of boundaries that do define genres of music and separate artists in terms of like what category you fall into makes me really proud as a person, and especially with a lot of things we were talking about just in terms of struggling and fitting in and all that stuff. It really does make me feel a great sense of validation and a sense of belonging. My songs and music have touched and been able to reach all different types of people, different races, different ages, you know, all different things, and so it's a nice thing for me. It's like I remember once when I was like 6 years old, somebody came over my house when I was growing up with my mom and whatever, some drama had gone on, and they thought, you know, kids are young and they don't hear what's going on, and that's not the case at all. Usually you're more sensitive. And this person was like, if this kid makes it, it's going to be a miracle. And I'll never forget that. And that kind of like echoed in my head through a lot of times that I went through in the beginning of my career and in the personal life that was behind that, you know? And so if this kid makes it, it's going to be a miracle kind of was like my little, I don't know, I guess it was sort of a mantra because I believe in miracles.
Because I have to thank God for this incredible year, really. Everything in my life, the ups and downs, whatever, everything is just part of the plan to get you to another level. So anybody out there going through any type of struggle, just keep believing and don't let anybody discourage you from reaching your dreams.
I just see myself as the human being. Yeah, I don't see Mariah Carey, whatever I'm supposed to be, celebrity, whatever that is. And I've always been that way. And it's like, you know, okay, so you go through a couple years where you're the target and you deal with it. You know what I mean? If you have a situation where something doesn't, you know, exceed people's expectations, you know, people can turn it into a huge deal when the bar is set very high.
Right.
A lot of people have said, do you feel like this album should have been called The Vindication of Mariah Carey? And it's like, so not about that for me. And I think everything I went through has made me a stronger and better person, and a person able to not hate people who counted me out, not, you know what I mean? It's not about that. It's about, you know, really just the music.